It's championship Saturday from Salem, Virginia. 6-seed Wisconsin Whitewater comes in with a 15-match win streak, and they play their first championship match since '07. Meanwhile, top seed Juniata, winners of a Division III record 96 in a row. They look to finish off their second straight undefeated season with their eyes set on a third consecutive national title. The national championship for Division III comes up next from Salem. After an off day Friday, we are back inside the Kreger Center in Salem. It's a rematch for the 2005 National Championship. 6-seed Wisconsin Whitewater and top seed undefeated Juniata. Heather Pavlik, the 14th-year head coach for the Eagles. Her Eagles swept Hope in the championship a year ago. She's also looking for her third consecutive national title as the head coach. She is a 1995 Juniata grad. She was a setter for the Eagles, and she has 6 All-Americans on her undefeated squad this year. Wisconsin Whitewater's head coach is Stacy Boudreau. Back in 2005, a long time ago, she won a national title as the Warhawks head coach in her first year. Guess where it was? It was in Salem. She's trying to repeat history. That national championship win in '05. Debbie, it was also against Juniata.
Yeah, I'm sure they've talked a little bit about these types of things, and superstition can play in a little bit.
UW-Whitewater has won 3 of the previous 4 matchups against the Eagles. We are underway in the national championship. Great to have you with us from the Kreger Center. And Christie picks up right where she left off in the championship a year ago, where she played at a very high level last year.
I think that's smart. Everyone's waiting for the big swing out of her. Start off with some off speed and catch them off guard.
Career match number 130 here today for Kennedy Christie. Both squads are veteran heavy. Serve goes to the libero, Jaden Evans. Right side swing for Werner, dug out by the setter, Olivia Foley for Juniata. Christie denied. The Whitewater block tops at Division III. Out of the middle is Mackenzie Coley, and Debbie, we will call her name a ton here today.
We absolutely will, and she's just got such a great flow with setter Olivia Foley. But you know, I know their idea is to come out and establish the middle early and often.
72 kills in the previous 4 matches for Coley. She had 24 in the quarterfinals back on Wednesday. Cruz is the setter. Here's Weinfurt. Over the block, no touch. And it's a 3-0 start for Juniata.
Wisconsin Whitewater looks a little nervous. I think some of these mistakes right here, they've just got to relax and settle in.
The Eagles had to pull off a reverse sweep 2 days ago in their win against Hope. The off day was much needed for both. Both squads needed 5 sets to win in the semifinals. We got a chance to talk to the head coaches yesterday, some players, as well as we take a look at the key to the match here today for the 6-seed Warhawks, who are looking for a 3rd straight upset, Debbie.
I think they have to block well and capitalize on the opportunities that creates. When we spoke with the players yesterday, they get it. They understand they won't block every ball straight down, but they're looking for those slows at the net to get easier defensive transitions and score opportunities.
And it's kill number 4 this week for the setter, Foley. Both offenses run a 5-1 system. This is the first 5-1 that UW-Whitewater has faced so far this week here in their 3rd match in Salem this week. Passed by Jansky, one-handed set for Cruz. The tip by Abby Dix. Coley rejected, our first time seeing that Warhawks block, which is tops at Division III. Left side for Weinfurt. And a net violation is called. A much better start for Juniata. Got off to slow starts in both previous matches this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Dropped set number 1 in both. Weinfurt with the mid-air adjustment for the tip. She's had a really good week, Debbie.
She has. I mean, the 28 kills and 27 digs. Such a huge contribution to this team's success this week.
Allie Longden will come in to serve for UW-Whitewater. Looking for their 16th win in a row, looking for their 32nd of the year. Great serve, played by Jansky. It might have been out of bounds if she didn't touch it. Another swing for Weinfurt. Foley in the middle for Coley, and she's denied by Abby Dix, who leads the country in blocks per set.
Well, you know that Wisconsin Whitewater likes this matchup. Dix is a great blocker, and you're going to have to be if you're going to slow down Coley.
Program record number 174 during the sophomore year for Dix. That is 174 in this year alone for her. Christie dug by Jansky, and overdig to Keona Sky Rousset Hernandez, the libero. Buried by Christie. What a fine cross court by the grad student from Pennsylvania. Debbie, the key today for top seed Juniata, trying to push their win streak to 97.
I think they've got to use the middles early and open the pins up from there. This has been their strategy in the tournament and all season long. They have weapons all over the floor, and you can count on the fact that Olivia Foley will maximize those attackers.
Another ace for Christie. She had 8 aces in the championship last year for head coach Heather Pavlik. That is her 218th career ace. Another good serve to Jansky, an overpass. Swung in by Coley, her second kill in set 1. That is all set up on the serve by Christie. A tough handle for Jansky, tough handle for Longden. 2 aces for Christie.
Well, Coach Pavlik talked about this. She said, we're going to come out with a aggressive serving mentality, and they have.
The 5th ace in the previous 2 matches for Kennedy Christie, who is looking for her 3rd national title. All Juniata early in set 1. Eagles head coach Heather Pavlik told us yesterday when we chatted with her and some players, she said they were a little tight in the first 2 sets. In the semifinals, they were overthinking a bit, but then everything settled down in the 3rd and they relaxed and played together. Right now they are playing together and playing well on a 4-0 scoring run here in the finals. It's hit by Weinfurt, met by Rousset Hernandez. How about a 3rd kill for Coley, who averages 4 per set?
They've done exactly what they wanted to do at the service line and establishing the middle early. And Coley's just moving around and hitting different zones, making the block have to work harder.
A near ace again by Christie, mishandled there by Audrey Muth. So the Warhawks really caught a break. And they get a much needed side out. They trail by 6. The serve by Weinfurt. Serves it to Christie, who is busy all over the floor in offense and defense for the Eagles. Pin-to-pin set by Cruz. Here's Jansky, her first swing. Had a lot of thunder on it, but dug out by the Eagles. Free ball by Muth. Right back to Jansky. Rolls it over and in.
What a great rally. They're coming out with the big swing, and then your next swing is the off-speed. Get the defense sitting back on their heels a little bit. She's a very smart attacker.
She has a lot of tools in her toolbox. Grad student from Muckwonago in Wisconsin. First team All-American this year. Cross court Muth, and Muth watches it fly away out of bounds. She was really good at the national championship last year. She had a team high 11 kills in that title match last year for Juniata.
You know, they talked about the fact that, and she was very good yesterday, and they talked about the fact that on any given night, a different player can step up and be the highlight player of the game, and that's what makes it so hard to prepare for them, and it's really true. Coley was the go-to night 1 here in the tournament. She had 24 kills, and then it was more about Christie and Muth yesterday, and then, it's just who is it going to be tonight, you know? And that's what I really think Olivia Foley's lucky to be able to work with this many talented attackers, and she knows it.
Pass from Schubert, quick set to Williams. Out of system swing, Jansky down the near line to Schubert. Muth is turned away. There's that block number 2 for the Warhawks. They're approaching 360 for the year, which is a program record.
And Adam, something I picked up on looking at the previous 2-match box scores. You see 2 blockers up right there. The only blocks they've scored in the tournament have been double blocks, and that's just an unbelievable statistic.
There's 2 in a row. That one was double. It was Jansky right next to Hannah Proctor. Dix gets a lot of the credit, but Proctor's had a big year as well. That is number 127 for her.
Well, and they are the 2 that are working hard getting the block closed. You know, that's who you credit, the fact that they're always double blocking, because they're not willing to give up, getting out to the pins and helping that pin blocker.
Side out Eagles on the kill by Christie. Debbie, she has really wowed us all week.
And she wowed me the most yesterday at the service line. I mean, she just was serving BBs, as we say. And, you know, it has the ability to break down a team serve receive, and I think that could be an issue for Wisconsin Whitewater, too.
She told us yesterday that we've always had a target on our back. We won't be handed anything, and they haven't been so far this week. They've had to really work to get their wins in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. It's hit by Proctor. Youth will swing, and it's too deep over the block. So here comes UW Whitewater. They're within 3, still relatively early in set 1.
They also addressed the fact that they felt like being tested early in the tournament was helping them. Not only did they have to get creative with who was going to be the player to step up, but it also toughened them up a bit and got them ready for this match.
Shaped away by Muth. That is an ace for Cruz. That is her 33rd during her All-American year.
Well, just as much as you want to see Juniata serve tough, you want to see the Warhawks do the same thing at the service line. It just creates opportunities for their side of the floor.
Good serve again by Cruz. Tough handle there for Rousette Hernandez. It is Lily Podolin with the attack. Jansky, good approach. Turned away. Williams alongside Muth.
Just great double block here by Juniata. Jansky's got to look to go high off the block or attack, tool the block, but she's not going to be able to blast through those 4 big hands.
Sydney Ohl, one of the better servers for the Eagles, will fly it across. Sends it to Weinfurt. Cruz. In the middle is Werner with the tip. An overdig by Podolin. This is Proctor. No blockers in front of her, but she went deep into the back row. Too far for Christie.
When you say no blocker, that's because they left Proctor alone. They were committing out to Jansky, and I think that's a risky thing to do. However, if your setter doesn't identify it and doesn't set the middle, then Juniata's defense is rewarded for that move.
Pass by Rousette Hernandez. Backside, Podolin tools the block of Weinfurt. Podolin doesn't get a lot of attention on the outside because she is on a very good team, but she's a 3-time All-American who's been around for a while. Her 130th career match, had 11 kills in the semifinals in the win for Juniata. Another tough serve. Overpass by Cruz. Easy tip kill there for Podolin. 2 in a row for her.
I think that serve might have been going out, but that's the value. And if you're going to miss long, because you may get the serve receive to take the play, take the ball.
Rousette Hernandez has 227 career aces. The Puerto Rico native on the service line for top seed Juniata. Sends it far line to Jansky. Right side Werner. The block barely goes out of bounds for Juniata. Point Warhawks. Stacy Boudreau brings in her second available libero at set 1. This is Peyton Keepers, a senior from Madison in Wisconsin. Short serve. Ohl has to come up to get it. Coley out of the middle. Weinfurt will save it. Werner attacks into the solo block of Coley.
Wisconsin Whitewater's done an okay job with their off speed, but I think they're using it too much. I think they need to swing. I think they need to swing aggressively, attack the block high, tool. You know, you're not going to try to beat the block, but they've maybe been a little too off-speed heavy here at the beginning of the match.
Eclipse the tape. That's an ace. The service pressure has been spectacular here in set 1 for Juniata. An ace for Schubert, her 59th. She had 3 in the quarterfinals Wednesday. Christie also has a couple of aces here in set one for the Eagles. Another good serve to Weinfurt. Dix is blocked by Coley. They go right back to Dix, who has to push. The bump set by the libero. That's Rousset Hernandez. The attack is dug out. Right side Werner the tip. Foley meets it. Left side swing Christie. The antenna was wiggling. That was on the block, so it's a point to Juniata.
So part of this tipping off-speed approach for Wisconsin Whitewater is they are trying to put that first ball on Olivia Foley, and you immediately have Juniata out of system. They can't use the middle, but I don't know if that's the way you're going to win this match.
Good approach for Weinfurt. Hammers it right to Rousset Hernandez. Back row, Schubert the kill.
She may just come in as a DS role, as a specialist for that, but she's an outside hitter, and so that's what they were talking about yesterday. She provides, as Christie does, that back row threat, and that's important, especially when Olivia Foley is front row, because there are only 2 front row attackers.
Debbie, you could try to slow down Coley and Christie, Padola, Muth, but they're so much deeper than that. Schubert stepping up big. But this is a really deep team. A lot of these players who are 5th or 6th on the depth chart could be star players elsewhere around the country. This is the path to the title for Juniata. This week, they really had to grind through Laverne. As you see before that in the regionals, it was sweep, sweep, sweep. This week, they lost set 1 to Laverne. They had to go extra points in set 4 against the Leopards in the quarterfinals Wednesday. They needed a reverse sweep 2 days ago in the semifinals against Hope. Hope won the first 2. The Flying Dutch could not pull off the win, though, losing the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And this could be a good thing this week for Juniata. They had to work for it, and they've risen to a different level, it appears, the last couple of days. Well,
and Heather Pavlik talked about that when we sat down with her yesterday. She said, you know we have that resilience. It's just no one had put us in that position for a long time. And so she wasn't the least bit surprised that her team could go to that next level down 0-2 yesterday. It probably was a good test for the team.
The win streak is impressive. They've won 96 in a row. Maybe just as impressive was their sweep streak going into the week. They had swept 25 in a row before coming to Salem this week. Free ball from Christie, handled by Evans. Cruz, tough set, sets up Weinfurt. Block touch there for Juniata. Coley, Evans gets to it. Right side Werner, denied. Evans will have to set. Weinfurt will tip, and Christie can't get there. A couple of early kills for Jenna Weinfurt here today.
I like that tip also. I'm kind of going back on what I said earlier, because that tip is, the commit on that is Christie. And if she picks that ball up that far to the sideline, she cannot get back into the offense.
Stacy Boudreau's team playing from behind often here in set 1. That's the slide play for Coley. We see her a lot in the middle. Sometimes we'll see her on the right on that slide.
She doesn't run it a ton, but when she will run it is when Foley's front row. And I think it is a nice variation to what teams are used to defending.
6'3", really offensive middle hitter out of Norco in California. 3-time first-team All-American. And that serve is inches deep there for Christie, but that is something that Heather Pavlik certainly is okay with. It is a good, deep, tough serve there by Christie. Just missed that back line barely. Eagles continue to serve it tough. Mishandled there by Schubert. Out of system swing from Youth. Lunging dig. Dump play try by Cruz. Quick set to Coley. Kept up by Evans. The slide for Dix wasn't timed well. Joust at the net, and Foley wins the joust against Dix. That is a 5'8" setter going up against a 6-foot middle hitter.
Well, there's a rule in volleyball, not a rule, but there's a common thread that setters usually win jousts, and it must be a timing thing. They're almost always undersized in the matchup, but setters have a knack for winning those jousts.
Another long serve for Juniata. That one from Sophia Repholz, the junior from Pennsylvania. Riley Braunschweig will come in to serve, has 5 aces the previous 3 matches for the Warhawks. From Whitewater, Wisconsin, they play in the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. Having a fine year, of course. Light play for Williams, who hammers it down.
Juniata's definitely come out showing a couple of different things. Just enough of a different look, maybe to get the block off balance for Wisconsin Whitewater.
Juniata hitting .308 for the year, but they've been below .250 in each of the previous 2 matches this week. Here's the 3rd service error in a recent stretch for Juniata. It begs the question again, Debbie, are you okay with that?
I am, and so is Heather Pavlik. You know, she said, we're gonna miss some. And it's not just comparing how many you missed to aces. They want to get the team into a bad first ball contact so they receive an easy ball into their defense and they can transition kill that. And their goal is to transition kill the first ball back over to their side of the floor.
Warhawks within a handful. On the service line is Cruz, the setter. 6'2" sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois. Serves it to Muth, high pass to Foley, quick set to Williams, who buries it. High level play for Courtney Williams, who averages only 2.1 kills per set. I say only because that's one of the lower numbers among the attackers for Juniata.
And yet the offense is so balanced that no one has a real huge number. You do see teams where one outside hitter has 4 or 5 kills a set. This is an extremely balanced offense.
Overpass Weinfurt, then she digs. Cruz in the middle for Werner. Tips it over 2 blockers. Good placement there by Chloe Werner. The transfer from Akron. UW-Whitewater looking for a long point run from Elena Jansky. Good first set for Juniata for sure. Steered ahead by Rousette Hernandez. Christie tools the block. Set point coming up for Juniata. Eagles ready to go for point number 1 here today. Trying to go to 35-0, looking for their 2nd straight undefeated season and their 3rd straight national title. The tip out of the middle lands in for Hannah Proctor.
Well, as much as I'm not a huge fan of all this off-speed, I will say it's very strategic what they are doing with their off-speed. They're either taking out a key attacker and making sure that she's not part of the offense even if she gets the ball up, and then they know what's open on the floor.
Foley, backside, Padolin out of the reach of Cruz. Eagles cruise in set 1. Juniata looking for their 97th win in a row, looking for their 3rd straight national title and their 5th overall. They win by 6 in set 1 here in Salem. An impressive set 1 for Juniata and an impressive set 1 individually for All-American Kennedy Christie. 5 kills, 8 swings, Debbie. Also a couple of aces in set 1, playing very well.
Well, that's why we talked about her at the beginning of the show. I mean, you saw yesterday when they had their backs against the wall, it was Kennedy Christie who put the team on her back and just willed them through the rest of that match. She's come out in exactly the same form in this championship match.
Juniata hitting .263 so far, only .062 for UW-Whitewater. 3 blocks for the Warhawks, also 2 blocks for the Eagles. You can tell who's serving it tougher right now. 3 aces, 4 service errors for Juniata. A lot of service pressure. 1 ace, 0 errors for the Warhawks through set 1. Great crowd inside the Kreger Center. We're on the campus of Division III Roanoke College. Stacy Boudreau was in Salem in her first year as the head coach for the Warhawks. It was 2005 in Salem for the national tournament. She beat Juniata to win her first national title. Got back a couple of years later in 07, finished runner-up. Probably at that point you're thinking, okay, 2 trips, 3 years, this should be relatively easy, but it's been a while. It's been since 07 for UW-Whitewater to be on this final stage on the final day of the season to play for a national title. Juniata will serve it to UW-Whitewater. Jansky quiet in set 1. Only had 1 kill. Point goes to the Warhawks. A better start in set 2 for them. They were playing catch-up the entire way in set 1.
Still looking to use the middles. Olivia Foley. Williams was just a little wide on the net to make that kind of cutback shot.
This is Braunschweig. Sends it to Christie, who peels in front of Rousette Hernandez. Free ball Podolin right to Braunschweig. Set to the middle. Proctor was trying to find the near line. Free ball Foley. Led by Longden. Slide play for Proctor. Mishit it. Bump set Rousette Hernandez. Low swing for Podolin. 2-0 UW-Whitewater.
Braunschweig has done a really nice job at the service line. You know, she's playing defense too, but I think where she stuck out to me, making her bigger contribution, is serving tough, and I think that they could really use her right now.
Foley, a tight set near side to Christie. Didn't have a whole lot of breathing room. That is block number 4 for Wisconsin Whitewater.
And when we asked Heather Pavlik about the blocking for the University of Wisconsin Whitewater, she said, hey, they're going to get theirs, and we're going to shake it off. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to worry about the things we need to do to win, and they're going to get blocks.
Was block number 2 for Cruz on the previous play. Cruz, this setter, has 106 for the year. There's a lot of teams, including Juniata, that doesn't have a blocker over 100 this year. Now, in the case of the Eagles, they don't play a lot of sets, so their overall numbers are a little skewed. The pass by Weinfurt, outside for Jansky, hard off the block. Foley tied to the near side again. Christie maneuvers around the block and in.
I almost wonder if they're leaving the ball inside just a little bit to kind of work away from Cruz and into that gap between Cruz and Proctor.
Another really good national championship match for Kennedy Christie. Cruz back to Jansky, tips it down the far line. Christie gets to it. Foley out of the middle, sliding handle for Weinfurt. Jansky off the block, her second kill.
That's why that tip is going where Christie's going to defend, because they're trying to take her out of this match as much as they can. They haven't been very successful, but those types of tips will make her a non-factor for at least that portion of the rally.
Jansky from Mukwanago in Wisconsin. A lot of Wisconsin natives on this roster. Foley out of the middle. Evans got to it, but couldn't keep it up. One of the better swings all week from Mackenzie Coley.
A lot of times, the way they connect is more about how fast she's up, but that one actually just has a ton of pace on it. She's often beating the opposing block because she's so quick off the ground. She and Foley have such a great connection.
That Foley to Coley connection, it's been our point again. Back row swing off speed from Weinfurt. Coley, 2 in a row. Slams it down back line. Mackenzie Coley starting to heat up again. She already has a half-dozen kills early on in set 2.
But that's more of the shot I'm talking about. It was kind of a flat, deep shot. Didn't have quite as much pace, but she sees the floor so well.
Running set by Cruz. Jansky wide left.
It's hard not to press a little bit if you're Wisconsin Whitewater right now. These attackers, they want to put the ball away and start getting some positive points for their side. They've done a lot of off speed. They want to get some kills. But if you rush, that's usually when you err, and so they've got to be patient attackers.
The block for Foley. Foley alongside her. That's a setter at 5'8". She can really block it up front.
And neither one of these setters are a real big liability on the floor. Foley's a little smaller, but she's just got great timing, great hand mechanics.
Jansky rolls it off the block. Coming up is Schubert. Proctor trying to tip it in. Tough angle for Christie, right into the block. Warner alongside Proctor. Christie just couldn't do much with that. Fifth block for UW Whitewater. They had 21 a couple weeks ago in their conference championship match, a program record. This time Christie will use the block. That gives her 7 kills already. This might be where Christie is the most dangerous from the service line right now.
She definitely puts a lot of pressure on the serve receive.
5 aces now in her previous 2 matches, including this one. Pin-to-pin set by Cruz. Weinfurt had to wait back on it. Controlled dig for Christie. Coley out of the middle.
I like that cutback shot for Juniata. The one time they ran it, the played at the 3 zone, it wasn't a great spot to do it in, but this right here, they're actually pushed to the other side of the floor. She's got a lot of room to work with. That's a great shot.
7 kills for Christie, 7 kills for Coley. Deep serve for Christie. A couple of aces and a couple of airs for her. Juniata controlled set 1. They won by 6. So they have now won 3 straight sets, going back to the semis when they had to reverse sweep Hope to get to the championship again. Out of system, Youth will just push it across, met by Weinfurt. Long bump set Cruz. Weinfurt uses the block.
That was a really nice attack there by Weinfurt. The ball was set a little tight. It was a bump set and a tough angle. She got to the ball quick, took it nice and high, and was able to tag off the block.
Weinfurt looking for her 3rd double-double this week. Double-double in the quarters, double-double in the semis as well. Slide play for Coley, cuts it in. That's the 2nd time in the slide, which is the most we've seen that in one match this year.
Well, Weinfurt didn't release quick enough out to the slide. I don't know if she didn't recognize it, but I mean, Coley just doesn't run the slide that much, and I think they lost her. I don't know how you lose Coley.
It's a pretty good number, 16 attacks, 8 kills. She has terminated on half of her swings. Weinfurt sneaks it in. Tough angle cross court, but found the opening.
And a tough ball again. I think she's done such a nice job with, we call them junk balls, but it's not a great situation, the set she's getting, and she's still finding a way to score.
Schubert gathers. Foley from Youth. 3 blockers there. Youth goes around the block. There were 3 purple jerseys on the near antenna.
And they'll do that, and that means there's a nice big opening on the rest of the defense. So somebody's gonna have to be ready when this ball gets tipped just across the net line short.
Debbie, I think that would freak out a lot of attackers when you see 3 defenders in front of you.
Absolutely, and they do it. They do it a fair amount during a match.
Joust to the net, kept up by Juniata. Youth is blocked. Cruz gets her hands on it alongside Dix.
I think what I like about Wisconsin Whitewater, they're not just a good blocking team mechanically, they're a great scheming team. So that triple block was scripted, and you know, they are always getting 2 up. I think they work so hard to always have that double block in front of the hitter.
Warhawks trying to tie it here in set 2. Jansky, great approach. Off the head of Williams into the seats.
She got her in the face.
Yeah.
That,
right around the forehead eye area for Williams on the swing by Jansky.
that hurts.
Williams trying to say she's good and trying to stay in the match.
It tells you how high she's playing.
Yeah.
But, you know, blockers, they every now and then, you know, the ball's lower than you are, and you take one off the noggin or the nose. She's going to tough it out.
Guts from Williams to stay in the match. Service error for Weinfurt.
Not a great time for that service error because I doubt that Olivia Foley was going to set Williams. I think you could have put double block up somewhere else because she's going to let her get herself composed after that. You know, she may not even be seeing that well out of that right eye. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't set her for a couple points.
Reception for Evans, the first-year libero for the Warhawks. Division II transfer. Attack is too deep for Dix.
That's a squandered opportunity there because Williams was really late, so she had a one-on-one situation there.
Weinfurt shakes it away, another ace. This one from Sydney Ohl, her 49th of the year.
She's been another really tough server in this tournament. Unfortunately for Wisconsin Whitewater, when you look at this Juniata team, just about every one of them, when they go back there to serve, are a tough server.
Jansky off the block again. Foley outside for Christie, slams it down. 4-0 run for Juniata.
Wisconsin Whitewater's in a perimeter defense, so they are leaving the corners open. Christie just sees this great, goes right over the top of the block. High, deep swing.
Timeout, Stacy Boudreau. Eagles 1, set 1. They lead set 2 by 4 in Salem. The serve has been dangerous for the top seed Juniata Eagles here today in the national championship alongside Debbie Hendricks, who won a national title at Division II in 1997. Adam Young with you. Jansky attacks for UW Whitewater. Foley saves it near press row. Christie will free ball it. Weinfurt, Cruz, Jansky cross court and in.
She did a nice job with that ball because it was a little bit tight. I do think she had a bit of a seam. Part of what Wisconsin Whitewater does really well is in system, they give that faster tempo ball to their pins, so it creates a lot of seams.
Third kill today for the 23-year-old Division I transfer who wants to be a coach one day. Very, very soon when her playing career is done. Wide left for Podolin. In fact, the story behind Elena Jansky was she still had eligibility remaining, but needed to get hip surgery when she left Winthrop, which is Division I. She reached out to Stacy Boudreau, wanted to be a grad assistant. Stacy Boudreau replied, "You still have eligibility left. Can you play?" Well, she recovered from hip surgery, played this year, and now she wants to coach when this year is done. But cool story for this 23-year-old who's battled injuries deep in her career and has had a really good year.
And I'm glad she finished her career. You never want to be 5, 7, 10 years down the road wishing you had used your last year of eligibility. And there were a couple of them on this team that weren't going to, but you never can go back and do it. So I'm glad they're doing it now.
That's the 5th ace for Juniata, the 228th career for Puerto Rico native libero Kiona Sky Rousset Hernandez. Serves a good one again to Weinfurt. Rolled by Jansky down to the Terraflex floor. She's starting to heat up here in set 2.
And I think that's such a well-hit off-speed ball. That's just like the blocks. Juniata's just going to shrug that one off and say, good shot by you. There's not much any defense can do to defend that well-placed ball.
Cruz serves to Christie. Foley, backside, Podolin, denied, but kept up by Podolin. Overpass kill for Werner.
Good readiness by Werner to be able to capitalize on that opportunity. You're not getting a lot of opportunities from Juniata right now. You're not getting a lot of overpasses, free balls, so you got to make all of them count.
Cruz with the serve, drives it across to Christie, who does it all for Juniata. The tip by Coley to the middle for Proctor. Foley digs. Podolin from the right, dug out by Evans. Jansky the approach, sliding handle, back row by Ohl. Coley denied. We'll try the right again with Podolin. Taggett with the block. Right side for Werner, who wiggles the antenna.
When we sat down with Wisconsin Whitewater's team, they said, we want to get a lot of those slows at the net and capitalize on those. And so this is one of those chances where the block gave them a great opportunity, and this is just a miss by Werner. And you know, it's a good swing looking to take line. They gave it to her.
Tough set for Cruz. Does something with it to Jansky. Back row, Schubert. Over Dig Evans. Christie hammers it down. We just can't say enough about Kennedy Christie on the big stage. This is where she is at her best. That's her 9th kill. That's a match high for Christie. Jansky can't respond. Right, left.
You just knew she was going to come ready today, just by the way she responded yesterday when they were down 0-2. That's why I said, you know, she has that uncanny ability to will her team.
Yeah.
Will her team to the finish line, will her team to the win.
Werner tools the block of Coley. Juniata pulling away here in set 2. They lead by 4. They have won 34 matches this year. 29 have been sweeps, but no sweeps here at the national tournament this week. Overhead bump set Foley. Puts a good ball to Christie. Weinfurt lets it rip.
Well, there, same thing as we talked about with Juniata. Juniata's running a perimeter defense, so those corners are open, and she kind of hit that over the block towards that right back corner. It's a smart shot.
Overpass goes right to Jansky. Options here for Cruz. Backside for Werner. Block is there for Juniata. They'll try the left with Weinfurt, and she misses that one. She knew it right away. Eagles the first to 20 here in set 2. They won set 1 by 6. The best server today for the Eagles has been Kennedy Christie. Was also the best server by far the national championship match a year ago. Serves it to Weinfurt. Pin to pin from Cruz to Weinfurt. Out of the reach of Christie. They go to Weinfurt a lot. She averages 3.4 kills per set in her career for UW-Whitewater.
Love that set. Cruz didn't make her wait long to rectify that hitting error she had on the previous point.
And the career began for Weinfurt at UW-La Crosse, where she wasn't even playing volleyball. Coming out of high school, she wasn't going to play collegiately. She went to UW-La Crosse, spent a couple weeks there, missed volleyball so much. She told her parents, I want to transfer. She reached out to Stacy Boudreau, transferred at semester in January, and began her career playing for UW-Whitewater.
Her freshman competition season was her junior year academically.
Unbelievable.
COVID did some crazy things to the volleyball landscape, but her story even a little more interesting because, you know, she didn't play her first year either.
Yeah, her time at Whitewater began in January of 2020, so COVID a couple months later, and you don't play for a couple of years. Muth dug out by Jansky. Weinfurt will free ball it high in the air. Rousset Hernandez. Foley. Left side Muth, and she'll use the block of Cruz. Eagles by 4.
The other interesting aspect of Jenna's story, when she decided last spring that she did want to come back and play, she was engaged to be married in October, and Dr. Fiance said, can we move the wedding date? And they did. So it tells you how much she wanted to finish her final year of eligibility.
Now she has a wedding scheduled for next April. She attacks there to Foley. Right side, Podolin. 23-18, Juniata.
Well, this has been a heavy dose of Christie and Coley, but Podolin, if you don't stay focused on her, she'll make you pay for it.
Timeout, Stacy Boudreau. We kind of touched on this earlier, Debbie, but do you feel like the way Juniata had to grind Wednesday and Thursday to get ready for the championship really helped them going into this match here today?
I do, and they somewhat alluded to that themselves. I think that they hadn't been really tested in quite some time. And, you know, you saw when Hope really got after him 2 days ago, it took him 2 sets to finally say, hey, enough is enough. This is not, you know, Christy told us this is not the way we're going to finish our careers. And so, you know, I think it did help them prepare for this match, whatever happened.
Juniata looking for their 3rd straight national title. Just 1 loss in the previous 3 years. They were 35-0 last year, 34-1 2 years ago. They are 34-0 this year, so they are 135-3 since 2021, because that year, going back to 21, they went 32-2. A lot of national titles for Juniata. You know, they have 4 national titles, but this is also their 12th all-time appearance in the title match. They have 7 runner-up finishes all time, so they've been here a lot. The 4 national title number looks good, but then when you look at how many times they've been here, it looks even better. This is a rematch of the 2005 national championship. Heather Pavlik was not the head coach for the Eagles, but Stacy Boudreau was in her first year as the head coach of the Warhawks. Bump set by Rousette Hernandez. It led Cadolan too far towards the net. But then the Warhawks were in the net. Set point for Juniata. A lot of Eagles fans have made the 5-hour trip from Pennsylvania. Slide play for Dix. Talmonier lining in.
That's the first slide she's gotten a hold of in this match. And that's what she's capable of. They need more of that from her. This ball just really well located all the way out to the pin, and she got outside the left side blocker. It's a great swing.
Weinfertz. Youth receives. Williams tips it in. Juniata cruises again. Identical scores in sets 1 and 2 for the 2-time defending champs. And they are 1 set win away from their 3rd straight national title. This has been impressive, Debbie.
It has, and you know, I think it's kind of what you expected after the slow starts the first 2 matches.
Looking to extend their Division III record win streak to 97. Heather Pavlik, their head coach, told us yesterday it's been more player-led this year. A lot of veterans, a lot of grad students, a lot of players who have played in national championship matches before. And the Eagles' 14th year head coach joins us after winning the first 2 sets, 25-19 in both. Coach, appreciate the time. The way you played in these first 2 sets, do you feel like there's been a carryover from how you played down the stretch 2 days ago in the semis?
I definitely think there is. I think that we're being really aggressive. We're playing very free and loose, which is what we want to do and where we want to be. I think we're also doing a really great job of following the game plan.
What do you have to do now, Coach, to finish this off? I mean, you've obviously played very, very well to this point.
I just think we need to stay sharp. We need to stay focused. You know, remember coming out of this break that we've still got a big job to do, and we have to do it well.
Coach, thanks so much for the time all week.
You're welcome.
Heather Pavlik, the head coach for the Eagles. They win 25-19 in sets 1 and 2. Intermission comes your way next from Salem. Warhawks head coach Stacy Boudreau back with us here in Salem. Coach, what do you need to do in the final 3 sets to have a chance here tonight?
Well, I think we need to get a lot more consistent with our serve receive. I think they're controlling a lot of things with their aggressive serve. We're not really able to run our offense right now. Defensively, I think we know what we need to do. It's just a matter of us going out and executing and making sure we are serving them a little bit tougher to get them out of system. I
was just about to ask that question. They have 24 points off serve to your 12. Is that one of the keys to your success in this next set? Absolutely. I mean, I think we need a reversal of what's going on with our serving and passing in relation to theirs as well. So that's really the game right now, and we've got to clean things up on both ends, get a little more aggressive on the serving game and more consistent on our passing game, and I think we'll be able to make a difference. We'll make a big difference. Coach, thanks so much for the time all week. All right, thank you.
Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks with you. Good to have you with us. National championship match from the Kreger Center here in Salem. UW-Whitewater back in the finals for the first time since '07. Their 6th all-time trip to the championship match. They've won 15 in a row. Top seed Juniata looking for their 3rd straight national title and their 5th overall. Debbie, just 2 ties, just 1 lead change combined in the first 2 sets here today.
It sounds oversimplified to say we need to win the serve and pass game, but that's ultimately what's happening here. Juniata's been serving tough. They've been passing well because Wisconsin Whitewater hasn't been serving tough, and it is absolutely the difference in the match.
Jaden Evans, the niece of Warhawks head coach Stacy Boudreau, will serve it short to Christie. Williams has been a key player. Slapped by Evans off the patty, and that's a kill for Williams, who's played well for the Eagles here today.
It's been mostly Mackenzie Coley and Kennedy Christie in the stat box, but to be honest, they've sprinkled in just enough of every other player on the floor that it keeps that Wisconsin Whitewater block and defense honest.
That is the 4th kill for Williams. Cruz on the backside for Werner. Too long, over the block, no touch. And it's been consistent slow starts each set for UW-Whitewater.
Well, they've just been facing a lot of pressure, and that is credit to Juniata. They came out ready to put a lot of pressure on this team in all phases of the game, but you can see that they're feeling that pressure.
Overpass kill for Christie. She's in double figures. That is her 10th. Debbie, when they're having fun, when they're smiling, when they are enjoying playing with each other, that's when Juniata has been at their best this week. They're very loose again here today. Left side, Weinfurt pushes it into the block of Podolin and Coley. Foley from the 10-foot line, quick set to Coley, dug out by Jansky. Weinfurt denied, and it's tipped in by Abby Dix, who's only a sophomore.
Good readiness by her. You know, that opportunity happened really quick, and she saw it, and, you know, again, they have to capitalize on those. They're not getting very many free points from Juniata.
Cruz and Dix, part of the future for UW-Whitewater. They're going to lose a lot of key pieces to graduation this year. But Cruz and Dix, only sophomores, a rare mistake on serve receive there by Rousette Hernandez, who's usually money back there passing the ball.
I do think if they'll serve her a little tougher, they might be able to break her down just a little bit.
3rd ace this week for Longden. Short serve, overpass by Coley, sent down by Dix. Her 2nd kill in set 3.
I like that short serve because you're blocking the path that Coley's trying to take. You're making her take that first ball, and usually middles don't want to take the first ball.
Deeper serve this time by Longden. Quick set, Foley to Coley, one-handed dig for Jansky. Weinfurt, mid-air adjustment, pancake for Foley. Free ball goes to UW-Whitewater. Cruz has to attack that. Mini slide play there to Dix. Net violation called, and the point goes to UW-Whitewater.
There's another smart swing by Dix on the slide. This time, instead of, they didn't give her the line, she just went high line off the block.
The offense from Dix pacing the way here in the 3rd for UW-Whitewater. She's known for her blocking prowess. There's the block from Dix. Back to Christie again, and Christie drops it in. So creative with her shot selection. That's 11 now for her.
And they've all been a little bit different. And this one she has to kind of hustle in her transition there, but that deep line shot's always open on her perimeter defense, so she doesn't even have to hit it hard.
Service air number 7 for Juniata. 1 ace, 4 airs for the Warhawks serving. Deep serve, inches too deep. Jenna Weinfurt gives one back to Juniata.
I do think that's the right idea. That's that tougher serving that at least makes the serve receive think about taking it. It won't be an easy ball if they pass it.
To the fingertips of Jansky. Evans has to center. Jansky finds the near line and rolls it down.
Her off speed has been on point today. It's a roll shot, so it happens a lot faster than a tip. It has a little bit more pace, and she's just placed it so well.
Warhawks led by Jansky and Weinfurt, 6 kills apiece. Former club teammates at the age of 17, playing their final year collegiately together. That's off the shoulder of Weinfurt. Foley on the slide for Coley, and was touched by Proctor. That'll go down as a block for Hannah Proctor.
And that was a rare misconnection between Foley and Coley. She just didn't set that slide very well. They've used the slide way more today than they normally do. I think they're trying to stay away from Abby Dix.
The block for the Warhawks, Proctor and Cruz. Proctor has 5 now.
So right now, Juniata is in their 5-1 rotations with Olivia Foley front row. So this allows Wisconsin Whitewater to double up on a hitter of choice. And when they don't pass well, you know who that hitter is.
2 in a row, Proctor and Cruz again for UW Whitewater.
And that Wisconsin Whitewater block was all out there waiting for Moose, because there was no way that Foley was going to be able to get, or Coley was going to be able to get involved in the play.
The Warhawks lead the country. They have 8 blocks overall as we play in set 3. Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks back with you here in Salem. 4-0 run for the Warhawks. Debbie, what are they doing well right now to go on this run and get off to this start here in set 3?
Well, you saw right there, they came out with a tough serve. I think they've been creatively attacking. And then, you know, the block is always a big piece of their success. But I just think they came out with some really smart tactical adjustments. I love the short serves to Coley and serve receive. I love the commit blocking. So I think if they can stay consistently aggressive at the service line, they're creating some nice opportunities for themselves.
Another good serve by Braunschweig starts this. Jansky blocked away by Foley and Coley.
That's not the Foley-Coley connection we're usually talking about, but that one works too.
They'll take it. That's only block number 4 today for Juniata. Not really known for their block.
I think
they can do it when they have to.
I think a lot of that has to do with how much their offense takes care of business.
Back row, Christie, way long. That's her 4th attack air, her 19th swing.
Most of the time, she's all or nothing. And that was that swing right there. She just didn't quite get a hold of it. But you got to like that characteristic of Christie, is that she's just always going to go for it.
Wisconsin Whitewater trying to extend their season and avoid their first sweep of the year. They have not been swept yet. Juniata looking for their 30th sweep. They'll move Christie around all over the floor, Debbie.
Well, and again, the Warhawks went after Coley and kind of trapped her, so she really was a little late getting into the offense. But this is just a smart adjustment by Foley to get that ball to Christie on the back row.
Foley to the service line. The Division III National Player of the Year, 4-time All-American. Christie diving dig. Foley tight to the far side from youth. Pinballs around. Jansky will swing at it to Christie. Foley in the middle for Williams, who pushes it back left corner.
It's the 2nd or 3rd time she's looking for that back corner. The connection wasn't perfect, so she knew she was going to have to kind of throw the ball, tip the ball, and that was a great spot for it.
The 3rd most kills for the Eagles coming from Williams. Really stepping up here in the championship. Jansky rolls it in the block. Williams was there. Slap by Cruz to Christie. Williams again for Juniata.
That's that same cutback shot she took earlier in the match, but she was pushed too far left. This time she's right in the middle of the floor. That's just a tough angle to defend.
Or pass by Jansky, who gets it back from Cruz. Over dig for Christie, and Jansky terminates for UW Whitewater.
Another thing I think Wisconsin Whitewater is doing very well in this set is they are capitalizing on the free points. There have been a few more errors, a few more mental mistakes by Juniata, and they've taken advantage of each of them.
Foley in the middle for Williams. Somehow she got a hand on it. Weinfurt gets a touch. Stacy Boudreau looking on. Veteran head coach, over 500 career wins. Likes the way her team is playing right now. They lead by 4 here in the third.
Well, Heather Pavlik brought it up with us in the, between sets 2 and 3. She needed her team to stay mentally sharp and focused. I think they've let up a little bit.
Right side Muth, way long, no touch.
And you can certainly credit the Warhawks for some of that because I think they've come out with a little bit more aggressive mentality, but I feel like you see kind of that similar flatness on the Juniata side that we saw in the first sets of the last couple of matches. My guess is Kennedy Christie will only allow so much of that.
Yeah. On a team full of veteran players, she's kind of been that leader in the huddles when times get tough this week.
And they do talk about how they are team-led. They don't really look to any one particular person for leadership, but I do think she's that one individual that kind of has that gutsy side to her that's I'll put the team on my back, we're all going this direction, let's go.
When you had teams like that, Debbie, that were older, that had been on the national stage before, do you find yourself kind of peeling back a little bit more so often then?
Absolutely, and this is a very experienced, mature team, and I know Coach Pavlik has done that. I know you kind of reach that point, especially at this juncture, where the best thing you can do is get out of the way and let the team go do their thing. You give them a game plan, and you set them free.
It's an older group for Whitewater as well, and one of the youngsters, one of the underclassmen, Dix, has been really good tonight. Lead is 6 for UW Whitewater. Weinfurt tools the block. Lead is 7 for the Warhawks. And finally a timeout from Juniata head coach Heather Pavlik, who has seen enough.
Well, that's a tremendous response by Wisconsin Whitewater. I mean, you're down 0-2. You've got your back against the wall the same way Juniata did 2 nights ago. But you don't know how teams are going to come out. And I think they've come out swinging.
The path to the championship for the 6th seed from Whitewater, Wisconsin. Cruised in the regionals. Defeated 3-seed Emory in the quarterfinals Wednesday. Maybe the most impressive result on Wednesday was how easily Whitewater cruised by Emory. Had to work against Johns Hopkins in the semifinals 2 days ago. They won in 5 sets. And they get back to the championship for the first time since 2007. We had a chance to catch up with Stacy Boudreau and her players yesterday and really enjoyed the conversations. It's an older group. They have a couple of 23-year-olds, Jansky and Weinfurt, who had very different paths to get to this point. Both players are engaged. And Stacy Boudreau said this is one of the most exciting and fun teams to be around that she's had during her career. And one of those 23-year-olds who's engaged, who had to push back her wedding to April to play this year is Jenna Weinfurt, and she just continues to shine here on the national stage. She's
been as good as advertised, just finding a variety of different ways to score. I think she's done a nice job avoiding the block and finding the holes on the back row. Exactly what they needed from her tonight.
We joked with her yesterday about senior day as Dix and Werner combined for the block. And she said, oh yeah, I've been through 3 of them. She went through 3 different senior days, which of course, because of COVID, and now playing in her 6th year of school, her 4th year on the floor. Pretty cool story. 8-point lead, right on cue, there's Weinfurt. Her 128th career match from Waukesha in Wisconsin. Steered ahead by Christie. Dump play for Foley. Slapped up in the air and deflected by Dix. Weinfurt to Ole. Middle Williams, dug out by Evans. Werner for the ride is blocked away. Williams and Christie, and it's Christie who's trying to rev up her team on the floor right now.
Yeah, she used that opportunity right there, that point, to say, let's go. And we knew she'd be the one, but they needed something positive to happen for her to kind of get into that mind frame.
If you lose big here in the third, then if it spirals in the fourth, anything can happen in the fifth, especially in a championship match. Whitewater staying alive. Dix dug out by Brusette Hernandez. Left side Weinfurt down the near line. Great dig by Foley. Slapped across Christie, deep to Jansky. Cruz a tough set. Coley blocks Dix. Weinfurt goes out of bounds, but the point's going to go to Juniata because it never got over the net. Correct, Debbie?
That is the call. It'll be interesting. I think we might get a challenge here from Stacy Boudreau.
Well, she was, and then Elena Jansky said no.
Yeah.
It was the right call, don't use it.
I did not believe the ball was touched by the block, so that would have been a wasted challenge.
You said all week that these coaches rely a lot on the players, and right there it was Jansky who told Boudreau to put it away.
Well, they only get 2 challenges. Unless you go 5, then they gain another one. So if you squander one, you don't want to do that. And players understand that.
Plus, you lead by 7. If you're UW Whitewater, you probably feel like you should be able to finish this off. Foley does not get a touch on the block. Out of bounds, wide left. Warhawks the first at 20 for the first time today. They lead by 8.
Not only do they lead, it feels like all the momentum has come to their side of the floor.
They're trying to pull off a reverse sweep like Juniata did to Hope in the semis 2 days ago. Christie blocked away. And if this block gets revved up for the Warhawks, that could pose some big-time issues for top seed Juniata.
Each of these teams has kind of a special strength, and I think it's the serving for Juniata. It's certainly the blocking for Wisconsin Whitewater. But we didn't see that much of it early. I think sometimes you're learning as you make your way through the match, especially against an opponent you haven't seen before. But they are absolutely figuring out Juniata's offense and getting a solid block in front of it.
That is the 4th for Abby Dix. Program record 177 during her sophomore year. Broke the record previously held a year ago by Kirsten Anderson, who was a great mentor for Dix. Dix talked about her a lot in our chat yesterday. Could not steer that one in. And when we were talking to Abby Dix, she said, please give a shout out to Kirsten's dad, Larry, who is about as big of a Whitewater fan as there can possibly be.
I think he was probably very disappointed he couldn't be here.
In fact, Larry told Abby at one point, said, you can slow it down. You still have 2 more years left. You don't need to break it during your sophomore year. Kirsten Anderson was a fine player for UW Whitewater and really helped out Dix a lot a year ago during her freshman year.
I tell you, everything right now is going the Warhawks' way. And I think they generated most of that with tougher serving and with their block. The defense has been really good.
Short serve by Weinfurt to Brusette Hernandez. There's Coley, who lets out some frustration with that rip.
I think it's important for Juniata right now. You know, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to win this set, but you need to get something positive going. Get a little momentum on your side of the floor before you head into the 4th.
Christie with 2 aces in set 1. And off to a great start. Serves it here in set number 3. Left side, Jansky unleashes.
And again, I like the matchup first and foremost between Jansky and Foley. Jansky's definitely got the size advantage there, but I also like the tempo that they're getting that ball out to her. It's making it very challenging for those middles to close.
Braunschweig, the server, are in set point for UW Whitewater here in the 3rd. Dump play, Foley, met by Jansky. They were ready for it. Out of system, youth. Sliding dig for Weinfurt. Jansky rolls it a little bit too soft in the net. Good idea, though, just not enough on it.
You know, both of these teams have done a fantastic job defending the dump. And because they're both in 5-1s, these setters can be fairly aggressive from the front row with the dump, but I don't think one has landed tonight. So that's a great defensive preparation to defend the setters.
Weinfurt, Cruz, the dump play. Right on cue, Debbie.
But you know what? That's really tough to stop because she's so physical, she's so high. That's the first one that's really been that aggressive.
The Warhawks avoid the sweep. They stay alive the national championship. We crown a national champion today in Salem at Division III. Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks with you. And Debbie, these are great numbers in that third set off the serve for 6th seed UW Whitewater.
I mean, they only scored 12 points off serve in the first 2 sets and 14 in that third. And let me tell you something, there's a lot of different ways to be a good, aggressive serving team. 6 of those points were short serves, and they were using that short serve to kind of trap Coley when she was front row, and they had success with that. And they also were able to put together 4 runs of 4 points. That's a lot of points scoring on your serve, and I think that had everything to do with how they changed what they were doing tactically at the service line.
7 blocks in set 3 alone for the Warhawks as they looked for their 32nd win of the year. And they seek their 3rd national title. They won in 2002, a couple years before Stacy Boudreau got to Whitewater. They won in 05 in her first year in Salem as well. And trying to win here in 2024. Cruz, Dix, who's been good on offense and defense. Pedolin off the block through the hands of Evans.
I think it's a great time to start using the right side a little bit more with Pedolin. I mean, she does a nice job, and you've very much established your middles. And Christy, I think it's a really nice time to use her just a little bit more.
Eighth service there for Juniata.
You know, you mentioned all the blocks for Wisconsin Whitewater. A lot of those are opportunities created off the tougher serving, even if it's short serves.
Pedolin again out of the reach of Jaden Evans.
And that was a very nice tempo ball by Foley. I don't think Dix was able to get all the way out there. They're probably not keying on Pedolin right now, so I think that's why it's a great time to use her.
Juniata won the first 2 sets, identical scores. They won by 6 in both. 10-point win in the third for the Warhawks. We have only had 5 ties, 2 lead changes the entire day. Long set to Weinfurt, popped off the block to Christie in the front row. Foley to Coley.
This is just what they do so well. They get that good first ball contact, and she just powers through that double block.
Weinfurt dug out by Foley. Reset Hernandez, the bump set. Pedolin off the block to Evans. Slide play for Dix. Pedolin again. Over the block to Evans. Weinfurt on the outside. Foley couldn't get to it. Old does, though. Christie will slap it out of system. Dump play Cruz. There's Reset Hernandez. Overhand handle for Jaden Evans. Weinfurt through the hands of Foley. Stacy Boudreau was maybe 3 or 4 feet behind her, telling her where to go.
So many balls were tagged by both teams in that rally. That's what starts to happen as you become more familiar with each other, but that was a nice job on that swing, getting outside the block, taking a little pace off down the line.
Short serve again, serving it again to Mackenzie Coley in the front row. Christie denied. Coley turned away. Pedolin through the seam.
That was very good patience by Juniata. You know, you are getting more touches at the net by the Warhawk block, waiting until you have the right time, the right opportunity to take the bigger swing. They just recycle it and go again until they finally can get that open net or seam ball to attack.
Mackenzie Coley hammers it down.
She just went over the top of the block on that one. She does that really well, and that's why you see a lot of the flatter, deeper shots.
One-handed set for Cruz. Jansky, good swing. And that is why the 6'2" frame for Cruz really plays a big role. Not many setters would be able to handle that ball.
Yeah, you gain so much with Cruz's length because you gain a better blocker. She can take the tight balls better. She's a more offensive threat, especially like that last play of the third set.
Christie, a cut shot, buries it back right corner.
Juniata's done a great job all match of attacking those corners, and Christie, that was just an absolutely textbook shot. There's no defense for that unless you start adjusting and rotating into the corners.
Team high 13 kills for Christie, who's approaching a double-double. 2 digs shy of that. Has 2 aces, both came in set 1. Lunging bump set for Cruz. Christie, another dig, her 9th. Jansky gets over and down.
So Juniata is complaining that that ball wasn't in the plane and the block interfered. So obviously the officials felt the ball entered the plane and then it's anybody's ball.
Debbie, we haven't had a challenge yet today. So both head coaches just letting them play here in the national championship. Slide play for Coley, cross court, and she got a touch. She gets a late touch. Stacy Boudreau won't even flinch. She won't challenge. She saw it as well. Lead grows to 3 in the 4th for top seed Juniata.
I think they're both being very thoughtful about when you might need those challenges, and they don't want to take one too early and need it much more. You're playing for a national championship. You know, you want to keep those things in your pocket as long as possible.
Steered ahead by Schubert. Back row Christie took something off that one. Evans will set up Weinfurt. Rolls it in. 13 kills for Jenna Weinfurt.
Both Weinfurt and Jansky have done a really nice job of hitting that off-speed short ball down the left side line. I think they're doing that because Olivia Foley's undersized, so the blockers drop deeper because she's planning to dig a ball that goes over the top of Foley. So that's going to be consistently open.
Service error for Jansky. 2-point lead for Juniata. They just need to win one more set to finish off their 3rd consecutive national title. Excellent serve by Foley. Maybe one of the more underrated parts of her game is how well she serves it, Debbie.
And that one wasn't even floating. I think she just kind of went for the shorter serve, much as the Warhawks were doing in the last set.
Career ace number 122 for Foley. Career match number 131 here today. Looking for her 3rd straight national title. Weinfurt slams it down. Great approach and absolutely ripped that one.
It's another byproduct of that faster tempo ball. They're pushing to the outsides. They're getting those one-on-one and gap situations to swing at.
Left side Muth, who's had a quiet night. Evans steers it for Weinfurt. 2 in a row for her. Here she comes again. The Waukesha, Wisconsin native, the grad student, Jenna Weinfurt.
Now she had a solid double block out there. She just overpowered the block.
She has her 3rd double-double this week already with kills and digs. Side out Juniata on the kill out of the middle for Podolin.
It's kind of interesting right now. The Warhawks are getting carried by one of their staple attackers in Weinfurt, but we're seeing Podolin really step up and carry a heavier load in this 4th set. I think that's smart.
So Good moments for Williams, great moments for Podolin, especially here in the fourth. Weinfurt, mid-air adjustment, she'll tap it in. Her third kill here in set 4.
And that's another good tip. Now you don't have Foley up, you've got Podolin, but you've got Foley back. Even if she does get to that ball, she can't run the offense.
Weinfurt denies. They'll try Podolin again, off the block. Evans, a gentle bump set for Weinfurt. Tumbling dig attempt by Rousette Hernandez. How about a fourth kill in the fourth for Weinfurt?
You know, that's one of those things that liberos don't get recognized for. We talk about their passing, we talk about their defense, but anytime the setter takes the first ball, they are now the setter, and they have to bump set the ball usually. She just left a great ball up there for Weinfurt.
Abby Dix too deep. Side out Juniata. They lead by 1 here in the fourth. They won by 6 in the first and the second. Lost by 10 in the third.
Seems like Cruz and Dix just haven't been able to be consistent on that slide. There have been some really good ones and some that are mistimed.
Weinfurt to dig. Push out of the middle by Dix. Podolin blocked away. Number 7 for Dix.
Well, Weinfurt is up on it too. That's just a big block. And as I mentioned earlier, in this tournament, they've had very few true single blocks. They're both there. Dix just always works so hard.
7+ now, Debbie, in 6 of her previous 7 matches, going back to early in the postseason. Dump play for Cruz in the campfire in between Foley, Ole, and Rousette Hernandez.
So much of the credit for Dix's blocking goes to how hard she works. She never, ever makes herself unavailable. She may leave a seam, but she's going to get out there and help on the block.
300+ blocks this year combined between Dix and Proctor. Weinfurt got just enough on it to slow it down for Evans. The free ball from Jansky. Around the block goes Coley. That's a good idea. Go around it.
Well, she had a lot of cutback. Just about half the court, she could hit the cutback shot too, and that's one of her favorites.
Here is Schubert, the junior out of Pittsburgh. Serve reception for Evans, overpass, and Cruz couldn't do anything with it. Is this where the serving tough could really pay off for Juniata?
Especially if they can keep the majority of them in. Absolutely. That's where they created the most pressure in the first 2 sets.
Christie tools the block.
And this is what Heather Pavlik talked about. Let's serve tough, and then let's score on the first transition, the first opportunity we create for ourselves on defense out of that serving.
Jansky rolls it in off speed.
You know, as much as the corners have kind of been an Achilles heel for the Warhawk defense, that little off-speed short shot down the line for the left sides has been a problem for Juniata. And it doesn't matter if Foley's front row or not.
Braunschweig the serve. Rousette Hernandez the pass. Foley. Juniata the first of 15. The Eagles lead by 2 in the fourth. They lead 2-1 in the national championship match from Salem, Virginia. Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks back with you inside the Kreger Center here in Salem, Virginia. A rematch of the 2005 National Championship match in which UW-Whitewater won right here in Salem. It wasn't in this venue, but it was right here in Salem as Jansky terminates off the block to bring UW-Whitewater within one.
Adam, these offensive numbers in this third set are unbelievable. Juniata hitting 393, Wisconsin Whitewater 375. No one's had more than a 2-point lead, so what that tells you, they're both siding out very well.
Good serve as UW-Whitewater continues to serve it to Coley. Evans gets it one-handed. Jansky goes around the block. Here comes Elena Jansky, the grad student from Mukwanago in Wisconsin.
Schubert had even adjusted up a little bit in that right back position, and Jansky just hit this ball so well. That's an out-of-system swing that she hit so well. It was undiggable.
That was her 40th kill this week, her 10th here today. Another block, the 14th for UW-Whitewater. Timeout, Juniata. Debbie, is this as good as you've seen their blocks so far this week?
It is, and you know, they're blocking a team with a lot of different weapons, so they've got a lot of net to cover. I feel like they're getting double up just about as much as they have all tournament, which is effort and eyes being focused where you need to be.
8 blocks so far today for Abby Dix. On a team full of veterans, she is only a sophomore, so she still has a couple of years left. Out of Broadhead in Wisconsin, and she's proven to be one of the best blockers around the country this year.
Well, what you're seeing right here, too, is that the Penn blockers, they set a really nice block, and then she just works so hard to close to them. And that's what great blockers, and she's not she doesn't have that much length. So it just tells you how hard she's working, and then she's mechanically really good up top. She gets hands over the net. She's got good directional with the hands. So there's a reason that she's a great blocker. She works for it.
A couple weeks ago in the conference championship match against Wisconsin Oshkosh, who was here this week at the national tournament, UW-Whitewater posted a school record 21 blocks against a very good Wisconsin Oshkosh squad. That number continues to rise. Big difference in blocks today. Wisconsin Whitewater takes a 1-point lead in the fourth. They had to win the third to extend the match. And now they're trying to send us to a fifth. Both programs had to play 5 sets in the semifinals 2 days ago. The attack is deep from Youth. Youth only has 3 kills today, 8 attack errors. She was really good in the national championship match a year ago.
She was, and she was looking for high hands there. It's not a bad swing.
Cruz was trying to serve it short to Coley, and she serves it too short.
Well, you know, it's the same thing. That is the one time that serving in the net isn't so bad because they are actually attacking the short part of the serve receive, and they've had good success with it.
Jansky. Youth is dug out by Evans. Jansky buries it back line.
We have Abby Tellez in the match right now in right back, and I think she's in there for one reason, and that's to shut down the line off-speed ball that Whitewater scored so much with.
She's one of those players for Juniata who hasn't played a ton, but is a team captain and has been for a couple of years. Heather Pavlik was raving about her during our discussion yesterday as Muth is able to use the block to pull Juniata within one.
She spoke about how she's been nominated a captain by her team since her sophomore year, and that she's an unselfish player. She's not on the floor a lot, but she also, the team listens to her leadership. She's always doing the right things. She's giving instruction to the team, and they respect it. So it's a pretty amazing role for someone who, you know, hasn't been on the floor as much.
2 in a row from you. Juniata ties it at 18 here in the fourth.
I think that's a really smart swing. You know, it just seems like for the last set and a half, Juniata's been trying to blast through the block, and they've got to start taking advantage of tooling the block.
Weinfurt dug out by Rousset Hernandez. Back to Muth. Off the block. Foley goes right back to her. A little wide right that time as Muth was looking for her third in a row. She is a self-proclaimed mellow player. That's what she told us yesterday. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, which can really work on the floor.
But she also talked about her performance 2 days ago being a result of all these upperclassmen, these seniors and grad students, and she just wants to do it for them.
Right back to Muth, and right now Foley is riding that hot hand on the left.
She spoke about, you know, how much they've done for this program, and that was what was driving her performance in the semifinal match.
Which team will be the first to 20? Next point gets there. Cruz outside for Weinfurt. Foley digs it. She's the setter. Panolan denied. 16 swats for UW-Whitewater.
That was a really smart swing by Weinfurt just to put the ball on Foley. She didn't feel like she could put the ball away, so she made her play that first ball, and there's no way to use the middle then.
We've had lopsided sets until now. This fourth has been really tight. Back to Christie. Too deep. Begging for a touch. She'll get one. Neither team has challenged yet. Stacy Boudreau wants to keep the rhythm with her team. She will not challenge here in the fourth.
I think if they're compelled that there is a point worth challenging, they will, because they cannot take 3 challenges into a 5th set. So I think the reason we haven't seen any is because they really don't think they're winnable.
And now Stacy Boudreau will use one of her 2 timeouts. And the max you can go to the 5th with is 2. So if you still have the 2, you don't get the additional. We haven't seen this all week. We've gone through a match this far without a challenge, but both head coaches have been okay with the calls. The officiating's been really good the entire week, especially here today, Debbie.
That's just what I was going to say, is that, you know, it just shows you their confidence in the officials. They've done a fantastic job. You know, this is a big stage for them as well, and they want to get all the calls right. I can guarantee you that. So if it requires some use of challenges to make sure they do, they're happy to do it. But I think they've been getting the calls right the whole match.
UW-Whitewater looking for their 3rd national title, their first since 2005. Meanwhile, Juniata looking for their 3rd in a row and their 5th overall. UW-Whitewater struggled in the first 2 sets, impressive in the 3rd. It's carried over into the 4th, and it's been back and forth here in set number 4 from Salem. Outstanding crowd here inside the beautiful Kreger Center. Capacity 2,500, $35 million facility opened up back in 2016. Juniata playing here this week about 5 hours away from their campus in Pennsylvania, just outside of Altoona. Trying to grow their lead to 2. Off balance, Christie. Cruz, slide play for Dix, wide right. Eagles by a pair here in the 4th. Good pass by Jansky. Outside for Weinfurt, the mid-air adjustment again. Hard to defend.
And the Juniata block was gone. They were fully committed to Weinfurt, but again, they have worked that shot the whole match with great success. And this is just, even if it does get dug by Christie, she's out of the offense, but that's just an undiggable ball.
First to 25 wins, you need to win by 2. Christie off the block and off the antenna. Juniata 2 points away.
You can tell they're feeling it. Wisconsin Whitewater still in this thing. They need a quick side out right here, and then they need to go to work blocking.
Final timeout for Stacy Boudreau. Starting to feel this one slipping away a little bit. Lead grows to 2 for the Eagles. This has been everything and more what you want to see in a national championship match.
Yeah, it's interesting because the first couple of sets didn't feel that way, but this set in particular has been fantastic volleyball and so competitive. You know, and that's some of the risk of always getting there and closing. You know, Dix made herself available and closed off that seam, but she got used. But I can't say enough about how hard she works as a blocker.
That national leading block for UW-Whitewater has been on full display. If you're Heather Pavlik in the other huddle right now, Debbie, what are you telling your team, and what can you even say at this point here in the final match of the year?
I'm going to say you get back there and you serve it tough, because that's what's gotten us to this point. And give ourselves a chance to take an easy ball and transition kill for match point.
On the service line for the Eagles will be Mia Schubert, who's been one of their best servers all year. 59 aces, had 3 in the quarterfinals Wednesday. A junior out of Pittsburgh. Schubert drives it across to Evans. Cruz to Jansky, hammers it down. Whitewater within 1.
I love that aggressive swing. That's the other thing I was going to say is, you know, at this juncture, you want both teams to stay aggressive. You can't afford to become timid if you're either team.
Peyton Keeper is off the bench, senior out of Madison in Wisconsin. A serve sub right here. Serves it short. Championship match point coming up for Juniata. Two aces for Kennedy Christie in the championship here today.
She won't be going for an ace right now.
Eagles by pair. Christie, deep serve, too deep.
She didn't take much off.
That's her 3rd service error.
But she's wreaked so much havoc on this serve receive for Wisconsin Whitewater. You'll take it. They just need one side out.
Setter Aubrey Cruz will serve for the Warhawks. Match point Juniata. Cruz sends it to Christie. Foley from Youth. The block stays in for UW-Whitewater. We'll play extra points here in the 4th.
Coley was selling the slide, and Wisconsin Whitewater was not biting. They got that block closed on the left side attacker. Really good blocking. You can see Coley selling that slide out there, and that's a lot of distance for that ball. It gives the block plenty of time to get there.
It's been a big day for Proctor. That's her 8th block. 133 this year for the grad student from Durand, Illinois.
We talk a lot about Dix, but you know, every single person on this team is a good blocker. They spend a lot of time on it in their gym. They have great volleyball IQ when it comes to blocking. They prepare well for each team. So, you know, I think we give a lot of the attention to Abby, but they're all good blockers.
You were digging with Stacy Boudreau yesterday. You were asking her about what do you do in your gym and practice to be so good, and she said, I can't tell you my secret.
Don't worry, I have no chance to use them against you. No, but she did. She said we spend a lot of time on it. And they not only spend time on the physical side of it, they spend time on the mental side of it. And then they look for the rest of their game to capitalize on what the block creates.
The first-team All-American, Aubrey Cruz, will serve. We're going to play extra points. Need to win by 2. On the way from Cruz. Christie on serve receive again. Right side for Coley. That was slow developing, but it works for Juniata. Match point again.
Well, she took a whole bunch of pace off that and just tapped it off the top of the block. She knew deep left side of the floor was open. She didn't have to hit it hard.
The serve from Coley. Serves it to Jansky. Cruz back to Jansky with the tip. A one-handed dig for Schubert. A joust to the net. Kept up by UW Whitewater. Jansky buries it on the near line. What a swing!
I mean, she's playing to win. She's playing to win. I mean, that's a gutsy swing because it's such a hard angle, but it's the only way she can get inside the block. And I mean, she just caught the sideline on it. Second swing of that rally. Made it a good one.
Back row Christie, she slams it down. The answer from Kennedy Christie.
These are smart setters right now, feeding the hot hands, feeding the players that have been your go-tos all season long.
Match point Juniata once again. Four-time All-American setter Olivia Foley, the Division III National Player of the Year. Sends it to Jansky. Cruz for Weinfurt. Too deep. No touch. Hang on. UW Whitewater will challenge.
There'll be a challenge no matter what. Because if they find anything else, if they find that the ball was in, or they find that someone was in the net, or you find anything else, that point's going to Wisconsin Whitewater.
And that is why Stacy Boudreau probably wasn't challenging her on some of the calls earlier. You want to make sure you have at least one challenge in your back pocket towards the back end.
She might be challenging whether this is in or out. The official held up a 2, which is in or out. But again, if she's looking whether the ball's in or out and finds a touch or a net violation,
that's awfully close,
very
isn't
close.
Point UW Whitewater. Their season stays alive for now. Wow. And Debbie, this is why the challenge review system is in place.
Absolutely, because that team goes home and they have to watch that and know that they had extended the set.
Juniata had a brief celebration on the floor. They thought they had won the national title. Need to win by 2. Evans serves it to Muth. Joust to the net, Weinfurt, and UW Whitewater are at set points.
I think they called Olivia Foley for back row attack. Not sure. I really appreciated Coach Pavlik's response after they lost that challenge. She was like, let's just go, let's play. Can't dwell on it, we don't have time.
Evans serves it to Muth. Nobody's over there for Foley. She served it to nobody. We're going to a 5th at Salem.
Foley was frustrated because she felt like she'd given one signal and they ran something else. Clearly.
An absolute stunner as we go to a 5th. And UW Whitewater looking for the reverse sweep of the national championship. Division I transfer Elena Jansky playing in her final collegiate match. The 23-year-old grad student has really been good late. Debbie, 15 kills for her. She also has 10 digs, another double-double.
Well, and I tell you what, several of her swings in this 4th set were absolutely at clutch times. She's been working that off-speed ball down the line, but she took a couple of really courageous swings when they were down in the 20s at the end of that set, and you know, that's what champions do. They don't play tentative, they play to win.
Her former club teammate Jenna Weinfurt with 21 kills to lead all players, 17 kills, 10 digs for Christie for Juniata. And for a second straight match this week, both play a 5-set match. For UW Whitewater, they are 2-2 at 5-setters this year. Meanwhile, for Juniata, that 5-set match against Hope in the semis, it was their first 5-set match since 2022. And now, of course, they play 2 in a row. And we're going to see early on here, Debbie, how they respond after a rocky finish in set 4.
Yeah, you hope they can just shake that off and come out and get back to the aggressive way they've been playing. That's what I fully expect to happen. But I bet you right now they're grateful for that 5th set match yesterday. They wouldn't want the national championship to be their first 5th set, 5-set match in so long.
First to 15 wins, you need to win by 2. Juniata comfortably won the first 2 sets today. Warhawks won the 3rd by 10. They win in extra points in the 4th. And they got new life after a challenge kept their season alive for now. Evans will start on the service line for UW Whitewater. They continue to serve the front row. This time they serve Williams, who gets it back and sends it down.
Well, I think that's kind of a statement. Okay, you're going to service tough. Coley's going to handle it. Foley's going to give the set to her.
7th kill for Courtney Williams out of Tyrone, Pennsylvania. It's handled there by Weinfurt. Right side for Werner. Foley finds Coley, who gets a touch. Excellent serve, Rousette Hernandez. Evans stumbling behind Jansky. Options here for Foley. Padola the kill.
Well, I'll be honest, this is exactly what I expected as far as the response from Juniata, and I don't think it matters right now who's attacking the ball. They're of one mind, one mentality. They're going to win this thing.
Timeout, Stacy Boudreau. How about that response from Juniata? Up 3-0 here in the 5th. That is what these 2 teams are playing for here today in Salem. Juniata looking for their 5th national title. Wisconsin Whitewater looking for their 3rd and just their 1st since 2005. We're back inside the Cozy Kreger Center. 3-0 Juniata, Debbie, here in the 5th. An excellent response after that nightmare finish to the 4th for the Eagles.
I think the way they finished that set is relatively uncharacteristic, and they were not pleased about it. I think they just needed to catch a breath and get back to, like I said, just being the aggressive form of themselves that they started the match with.
Foley back to Padola. She gets a touch.
It feels like anytime they need to show a different look, they use Padola, and she comes through for them. You know, that right side, they gave her a little bit of line. They're drifting out there. She just caught some fingertips.
11 kills for the senior All-American from Columbus, Ohio. Cruz dicks the push. Twisting dig by Rousette Hernandez. 2 on the block, Coley.
You just sense a renewed determination on the side of Juniata.
First 5-0 run either side here today. Weinfurt, Cruz back to Weinfurt. Juniata not fooled on that midair adjustment on the tip. Buried inside the block by Padola, her 12th kill.
So Christie had to dig that ball, so she's out of the offense, and you know it's going to Padolan, but even though they knew it was going to Padolan, they couldn't stop her. She used the block.
Final timeout used by Stacy Boudreau. And in the end, in this match, Debbie, we talked a lot about Williams early on here today. We're talking about Padolan here late today. The players that maybe aren't the National Player of the Year candidates, the Foleys or the Coleys or the Christies, have really stepped up in big moments. It's been the depth on full display here today for top seed Juniata.
But I think that's what everyone has known is so scary about this team. As long as they are playing within their system and playing with the right mentality, everybody's a weapon. And, you know, they've used the back row. They've used the back row with Schubert. You know, I mean, you're going way down the depth chart of attackers, and she was effective back there. So it's just a special team in that regard.
The connection all year has been Foley to Coley, and Coley's been good again today. 16 kills. She began the week with 24 in the quarterfinals, and she's had another huge day here in the finals.
It's fun listening to them talk about their relationship and how they're close on and off the floor. And you can feel it. You know when players are connected.
Nearly an ace for Rousette Hernandez. Out of system, Weinfurt. Dug out and controlled Rousette Hernandez. Another for Padolin.
Wisconsin Whitewater is doing some things to take certain people out of the offense, and it just keeps coming back to Padolin, who's taking care of business. I might start looking to take her out of the offense.
Served by Rousette Hernandez is a good one again as she served it to Weinfurt. Werner wide right. Things unraveling here for UW Whitewater. Two teams will change sides. Juniata reaches 8 before the Warhawks even score a point here in the 5th. Stacy Boudreau cannot stop this run any further. She is out of timeouts the rest of the match.
Well, they talked about being player-led. Both teams did, but this is the time where you need those leaders within your team to become a little more demanding. Start making some plays.
It's a rematch of the 2005 National Championship, which was also held here in Salem. That also went 5 sets. It was a UW Whitewater victory in year 1 for Stacy Boudreau. Another good serve by Rousette Hernandez. Tough ball there for Weinfurt. Eagles keep it alive. Christie free balls. Weinfurt's going to swing. Foley handles. Padolin. It's been her set here in the 5th. Foley can't reach it. Weinfurt the kill for the first Warhawks point in set 5.
I know this looks like a huge lead, but I think as long as the Warhawks just take the mentality of we're going to chip away at it, we're not going to take swings to earn 7 points right now. We're going to try to keep our server back there for a couple of points each time and chip away.
That was the 22nd kill for Weinfurt here in the championship. Warhawks would love to see their block come alive again, but it's hard to block Coley. That'll reach the Terraflex floor. That is her 17th kill. The machine that is Juniata is starting to look machine-like again here in the 5th. Weinfurt blocked. Cruz will send it back to her. Schubert backs it up, and then Rousette Hernandez and Christie never went after it.
So funny to see Juniata have communication issues in the last match of the year, but it's happened a couple times here late in this match.
First of 15 wins, Juniata more than halfway there. Schubert, Foley, Coley the mid-air adjustment. Slammed down by the center Cruz.
And that just developed too fast for anybody to get up with her. But, you know, that tight set, you can't let her do that without a blocker in front of her.
Good serve for Weinfurt. Juniata the first to 10, 5 points away from their 3rd straight national championship. Excellent serve, clips the tape. Another center kill for Cruz.
Well, she's looking for just the right times. That ball's nice and tight to the net where she can be very aggressive. Early on, she was doing it when it was a little off the net, and they were able to dig that.
Deep serve Braunschweig. Back pedaling was Schubert's. Muth denied. Block number 18. Proctor picks up her 10. She is in double figures.
They were so high. I believe it came off Proctor. It came off her forearms.
Schubert the dig on the attack by Jansky. Christie out of the back row, out of the reach of Reinfurt.
Foley loves to go with her when she's in her 5-1 rotations. It's a great choice. That's who I'd be setting right now.
Get a second look at Abby Tellez. Senior out of Parker, Colorado. A team captain since her sophomore year. Did not play in the quarters or the semis. Has played a little bit late here in the championship. Jansky terminates. Warhawks within a handful. Short serve, Cruz, an excellent serve to Christie. Muth down the far line.
That was a really tough serve. Those short serves can be just as aggressive as the flat, deep ones, but Juniata handled it.
Foley serves it to Weinfurt, beyond the back line, Evans. Free ball, Jansky. Haven't seen many free balls here tonight. Right side, Podolin. Warner sneaks it inside the antenna to Rousset Hernandez. Backside, back to Podolin.
I didn't know where that set was going, but I knew you weren't going to give Juniata 2 free balls and them squander both of them.
Juniata hasn't lost in 813 days. It was September 16th, 2022. Looking for their 97th win in a row. Podolin. Jansky kept it up. Jansky in the net. Championship match point, Juniata.
That was a really nice ball by Evans up to Jansky, but Jansky just a tough out against a big block.
4-time All-American Olivia Foley on the service line. It's fitting, it's her to serve it. Serves it deep. That happened earlier in the fourth when Juniata had match point. Christie was serving, served it long on match point. And we know what happened there. But a little more breathing room here in the fifth for Juniata. Jansky serves it to Rousset Hernandez. Foley the dump. Met by Weinfurt. She'll drop it in near corner.
And I cannot praise the Wisconsin Whitewater defense enough about picking up the Foley dump. She's fairly deceptive, but they've been ready for it all night. And then to capitalize on it, score the point.
Rousset Hernandez on serve receive. Right side Muth, dug out by Evans. Weinfurt off the block. Overpass by Christie. Can't handle on the swing by Proctor. Great hustle for Muth. A little late though. Timeout, Juniata.
I mean, I think this timeout is to put in the play that you want to run. They've got to get a good first ball contact, but you know, you also saw what a crazy ending the fourth set had. So she just wants to make sure they take care of business right now.
Juniata won the first 2 sets tonight, 25-19 in both. Warhawks cruised in the third. They won by 10. Warhawks came from behind in the fourth to win by 2 in extra points. And here in the fifth, it's been all Juniata from the start. They led 8-0 to start off this fifth set. In fact, the Warhawks didn't get a point on the one side of the net. They had to change sides at 8 points, and the Warhawks still didn't have one.
There's just a special resolve I wouldn't even call it resilience. There's a resolve within this team that you're not going to beat them. And you can get them up against the wall. All kinds of crazy things can happen, but they just have a determination that it's at a pretty special level. I've seen a lot of volleyball, Division I, Division II, Division III, and they have a very special quality about them. They are not going to lose. I think they probably are one of those teams that would say we hate losing more than we love winning.
Yeah. Juniata had swept 25 in a row before this week began. Beat Laverne in 4 sets Wednesday. Won in 5 sets against Hope on Thursday. Serve receive for Christie. Left side Muth. Diving dig by Jansky. Weinferts. Christie can't dig. Whitewater down, only 4 now.
This is a little bit of a tough rotation, even though it's a 6-2 rotation. It's a little bit of a tough rotation here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see either the back row or Podolin right here.
Christie on serve receive. Bump set by Foley. Muth off the block. Evans backs it up. Cruz to Weinfurt. Overhand handle for Foley. Podolin. Dug out by Whitewater. Low swing for Weinfurt. The dynasty continues. Juniata wins their 3rd straight national title. Debbie, they had to celebrate twice to get it. They had a celebration in the 4th. It was halted because of a challenge in which UW Whitewater won. The Warhawks eventually won the 4th, and the Eagles, to your point, Debbie, they just showed great resilience the entire week.
They did, but I also feel like the Warhawks did in that 3rd set and the 4th set, being down. Jansky took some huge swings. Yeah, I feel like both teams showed us special qualities that got them to this match.
Stick with us. The awards ceremony comes your way next. Juniata wins the national title. We're back to Salem after these messages. Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks back with you in Salem. Juniata captures their 5th national title in their 3rd in a row. The win streak reaches 97. We'll send it down to the public address for the awards ceremony for the national championship.
Fans, the Juniata College Eagles have won the national championship 25-19, 25-19, 15-25, 26-28, and 15-10 over the University of Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks. At this time, it is our pleasure to begin the award ceremony for the 2024 NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball Championship. First, let's congratulate both teams on their outstanding achievements. We also want to thank our hosts, the Krager Center and Roanoke College, for their partnership, commitment, and success in hosting this national championship. Presenting the awards today is Sam Atkinson from Gallaudet University, along with committee member Matt Hall from University Northwestern St. Paul, and Melanie Wagner from Mount St. Joseph University. And now, we're going to present the 2024 NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball All-Tournament Team. Would the members of the All-Tournament Team please remain on the court for a photo after all awards have been presented. At opposite hitter from Johns Hopkins, number 16, Jillian Widener. At outside hitter from Hope, number 22, Addie Vanderwide. At outside hitter from Wisconsin Whitewater, number 11, Elena Jansky. At outside hitter from Wisconsin Whitewater, number 17, Jenna Weinfurt. At At setter from Juniata, number 2, Olivia Foley. At middle hitter from Juniata, number 5, Mackenzie Coley. And the most outstanding player from Juniata, number 21, Kennedy Christie. Your attention, please. At this time, we would like to recognize our regional champion and national runner-up for the 2024 NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball Championship. Defeating Wisconsin Platteville by a match score of 3-0 in the University of Wisconsin Whitewater region, the University of Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive their individual trophies? Number 1, Allie Longden. Number 3, Emma Bludgeon. Number 4, Emily Lico. Number 6, Hannah Proctor. Number 7, Ava Rabarczyk. Number 9, Sienna Rolling. Number 10, Jaden Evans. Number 11, Elena Chinsky. Number 14, Kate Barney. Number 15, Allie Warburton. Number 16, Amanda Hillman. Number 17, Jenna Weinfurt. Number 18, Riley Braunschweig. Number 19, Deanna White. Number 20, Chloe Werner. Number 21, Aubrey Cruz. Number 22, Peyton Keepers. Number 23, Abby Dix. Number 24, Holly McDonald. Associate Head Coach, Keith Shekel. And Warhawks Head Coach, Stacy Boudreau. Will the captains and coaches of University of Wisconsin Whitewater please come forward and claim the National Runner-Up Trophy? Congratulations to the University of Wisconsin Whitewater on a great season. Let's give all of these outstanding student athletes, coaches, and staff a round of applause. And now, the 2024 NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball National Champions, finishing with an undefeated record of 35-0, the Juniata College Eagles. Presenting the awards to the Eagles is Melanie Wagner from Mount St. Joseph University. Will the following individuals please come forward to receive your awards? Number 1, Isabella Rushing. Number 2, Olivia Foley. Number 3, Lily Padolin. Number 4, Maeve Edmond. Number 5, Mackenzie Coley. Number 6, Sophia Rapples. Number 7, Kiona Sky Rousset Hernandez. Number 8, Courtney Williams. Number 9, Molly Mishinkish. Number 10, Audrey Muth. Number 11, Mary Hansen. Number 13, Emily Farrell. Number 14, Mia Schubert. Number 15, Ava Gummer. Number 17, Abby Tellez. Number 19, Sydney Ohl. Number 20, Maggie Hayes. Number 21, Kennedy Christie. Number 22, Emily Sullivan. Athletic trainer, Dottie Edwards. Associate head coach, Casey Dale. And head coach of the Eagles, Heather Pavlik. Will head coach Heather Pavlik and the team captains please come forward to accept your championship trophy? Congratulations to the Juniata College Eagles, your 2024 NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball National Champions!
Emily, switch me.
Adam Young, Debbie Hendricks back with you as they popped the confetti on the floor here inside the Kreger Center. Juniata wins their 3rd straight and their 5th overall national title. Debbie, it's hard to recap an entire week, but the finish we had on the final 2 days of the week, 5 set matches in both semifinals, a 5-set match here in the championship. It just showed how high level the volleyball was all week, especially on the final 2 days of the week.
It was absolutely fantastic. This match at first didn't look like it would live up to expectations, but it did. And I've just been very impressed with the level of play and the competitiveness. And, you know, it just says a lot about D3 volleyball.
Before we sign off, we want to give a huge thanks to our entire crew. They were phenomenal the entire week. Our producer, Haley Zedek, big thanks to her. Big thanks to everybody on the entire crew as we say so long. For one final time from the Kreger Center here in Salem. For my partner, Debbie Hendricks, Adam Young saying so long. Juniata wins their 3rd straight national title. They have won 97 in a row. Good night from the Kreger Center in Salem, Virginia.